before we get curious, we want to tell you about an amazing Alexa skill from our friends at Bamboo Learning called Bamboo Math.
I'm so excited because I love doing math.
You love math and you are so good at math too. Occasionally, you ask me to quiz you on some arithmetic.
You ask me questions that get harder and harder until you stump me.
And it is hard to stump you, but guess what? Instead of asking me, you can ask Alexa for math problems instead. What makes Bamboo Math so amazing is that they make math fun by making math visual. Instead of asking you 2 plus 2, they might ask you something like, if you had 2 balloons, and your friend Jacob came over with 2 more balloons, how many balloons would you have?
I would have 4 balloons.
Great job. And as you answer the problems correctly, you get more difficult math problems. It's so much fun. Why don't you tell everyone how to access Bamboo Math?
It's simple. All you have to do is say, Alexa, open Bamboo Math.
That was simple. It's now time to get curious. Enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome back to the Curious Kid podcast. We've got a fun listener suggestion to learn about today. But before we get into that, let me say something. When we first started this podcast, we grew really slowly, and most of our listeners were people we knew. Since then, our podcast has grown steadily, and we've been able to chat with lots of our listeners through emails and social media, and the Curious Kid podcast family has members all over the world.
Today we are getting curious for one of our biggest fans.
We have listeners out in Portland, Oregon that have been so good to us. 7-year-old Nolan, 5-year-old Ethan, and their mommy Rachel are loyal listeners of Curious Kid podcast. They follow us on social media, we've sent emails to each other, and they also support our show on Patreon. If you really love Curious Kid podcast, you can help support the show on Patreon with as little as $1. For their support, Nolan, Ethan, and Rachel got a shout out in an episode, a signed transcript of the episode Curious About Megalodons with a note from Olivia, and they have access to exclusive behind-the-scenes content on our Patreon page. Please visit us on patreon.com, that's Patreon, for more information on that.
They also sent us an email that we read in episode 64, Curious About Waterfalls.
And in that email, they shared some things they wanted us to get curious about.
How do lawnmowers work? How are houses built? How is paper made? How do ears hear? And how are glasses made?
Those are all really interesting topics, but we picked one to get curious about this week.
This week we are getting curious about paper for Nolan and Ethan.
And it's going to be so much fun. Paper is one of those things we use so much, it's hard to even understand how much we rely on paper. Just look around you. You can probably find paper just about everywhere.
Paper is everywhere. Not only paper for writing, but toilet paper, paper towels, wallpaper, and so much more.
So, let's learn a bit about the history of paper, how it's made, and some fun facts about paper. What's the question of the week?
The question of the week is, what is the record for the longest flight of a paper airplane?
That's a fun question. I'm not very good at making paper airplanes. Even my best paper airplanes don't go very far. I wonder what the record is. Okay, a lot of what we learn, we are able to learn from reading things that other people learned before us. Have you ever wondered how that worked before paper?
Before paper, people used to have to rely more on their memory.
That's true. There were ways to write things before paper, but they were not easily accessible.
Bamboo was used for writing. They even sometimes used animal bones or skin.
That doesn't sound very convenient.
Luckily, paper was invented in China in the year 105.
According to legend, a man by the name of Kai Lun once saw wasps forming their nests and got the idea to create paper. He took bamboo, added it to hot water, and pounded it using a tool made from wood until it made a pulp. He poured that pulp onto a woven cloth so that the water could drain out. Then he left the pulp out in the sun to dry.
Before you know it, the pulp dried out and formed the thin sheet of paper.
And this paper was so much easier to use.
The Chinese kept their new paper a secret for over 700 years.
And after that, other countries learned about China's invention and started making paper themselves.
Paper must have become popular really quickly.
Of course it did. Paper is amazing and so important. Once other countries learned of the invention, people wanted to try it out.
There's one problem, Daddy. It took a long time to make paper this way.
You're right. There is no way they could keep up with the demand for paper if they prepared it the same way that Kai Lun did centuries before.
That's when they started using water-powered paper mills.
The Spanish started using paper mills in the 13th century.
They even stopped using bamboo.
Instead, they used hemp, linen, and cotton to make their paper.
That would continue for about 600 more years.
That's when two people named Charles Fenerty and Friedrich Gottlob Keller had an idea to use wood fiber. Using wood instead of hemp, linen, and cotton would make paper even easier to make and cheaper.
We still use wood today to make paper, and we get that wood from trees.
Just one pine tree can make about 80,000 sheets of paper.
That's a whole lot of paper.
It is, but here are some sad statistics. The average person in the United States uses more than 700 pounds of paper every year. America uses up 30% of the world paper supply, although America only has 5% of the worldwide population. Most of this paper waste comes from paper used for wrapping and packaging, like the paper in gift wrap or cardboard boxes. Only 2/3 of the paper waste in the United States is recycled properly. And the United States cuts down 68 million trees each year to make paper products.
Is there any way to help the environment?
There is. Here are a few things we can do to lower the impact that paper has on the environment.
First, use less paper.
That's the obvious one. If it's not necessary, don't use paper.
Next, reuse paper if possible.
That's another great point.
Also, recycle the paper you do use.
This all sounds familiar because we covered it in the episode Curious About Plastics. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Can we eliminate paper altogether?
That would be hard to do, but a lot of the things you used to have to use paper for can now be done electronically with computers. Let me give you an example. Companies in the United States spend about $120 billion per year printing forms. These forms are outdated quickly, most within just 3 months. Keeping the information on your computer without printing it out would help save the environment as well as a lot of money.
That's why newspapers don't sell as much anymore.
That's right. People are not buying as many newspapers, and that's not all. Less magazines and books are being purchased too. And that's not a bad thing. It's not like people stopped reading books. Instead of reading a paper book, more people are reading books on their tablets or computers, saving lots of paper. Instead of getting news information from newspapers and magazines, people are getting the information from the internet or from TV. And in most cases, the information is both cheaper and more current. All right, it's time to answer the question of the week. How long is the farthest flight by a paper airplane?
It was 226 feet and 10 inches.
Holy moly! 226 feet and 10 inches. That's almost 70 meters. That is unbelievable. I have a paper experiment for you to try. It has been said that you can only fold a piece of paper in half 7 times, and it is impossible to fold it any more than that.
Are we talking about a regular piece of paper?
Not necessarily. It would be nearly impossible to do it with a standard piece of paper, but you can try something larger too.
I've tried it before with a regular piece of paper and a large piece of paper, and I was only able to fold both of them 6 times. I wonder if anyone's been able to fold it more than that.
The record actually belongs to a group of students from Massachusetts who folded a paper 13 times. That paper was toilet paper, and the sheet of toilet paper they used was, get ready for it, 10 miles long. And it took them 7 hours to fold it 13 times.
That's because it gets thicker and harder to fold every time you fold it.
Every time you fold a piece of paper in half, it gets a lot thicker. If you fold a paper once, the thickness would double. But if you fold it 7 times, the thickness would be equal to 128 sheets of paper.
What if you fold it 100 times?
Hold on to your seats. If you folded a paper 100 times, you would have paper that is thicker than the universe itself.
Get out of town.
I'm totally serious. And that's a wrap for this week's episode.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's podcast, number 81 on paper.
Great job, Olivia. Don't go anywhere, because we are about to reveal city number 3 on the list of 25 cities that listen to Curious Kid Podcast more than any other.
Thank you, Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia, we love you. Thanks for listening to Curious Kid Podcast. If you listen to us from Atlanta, send us a picture showing us that you are from Atlanta, and you will get a preview of an upcoming episode before anyone else hears it. And not only that, one of you will get something awesome from Curious Kid Podcast in the mail. Send your emails over to CuriousKidPodcast@gmail.com before next week's episode comes out. Finally, we promised you that we would share some promos with you this season from our network of family-friendly podcasts called Podicon Go. First up, check out the promo for the gigantic adventures of Jeff and Simon that will play right after the outro music. A big thanks to Nolan, Ethan, and Rachel for the awesome episode suggestion, and to Atlanta, Georgia for listening to us. Join us next week for more curiosity. As always, thank you so much for listening and getting curious with us.
What ho, fancy friends, and welcome to the adventures of me, Jeffrey Montclair, and my faithful winged feather-red steed, Monsieur Simon. Join us as we traverse the realms of existence, discover ourselves and others, and have adventure! Ah!
The Gigantic Adventures of Jeff and Simon is a family-friendly adventure on the family-friendly Podicon Go network.